Well, I think I'm the only one in chat.
Well, for now, give them a few minutes. They'll show up.
Yeah, give it time. Everybody come wandering in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the fun life I live.
Doesn't sound very fun to me, man.
I take everything in stride. So
that's what you got to do, man.
Yeah, sometimes it gets under my skin, but what do you do?
Oh,
yeah. I mean,
not much you can do. Not much you can do at all.
Just
gonna roll with it.
And the way I see it, the things I see as it is, I'm real bad about seeing detail. I hate it sometimes. I can see a spider on a wall, clear in another room sometimes, and it just creeps me out that I can do that. So, it cracks me up. And that's why I have such a problem with the things I see, because I see them in such detail. Even when they're shadow, I see the detail in them. And it's so creepy sometimes. Can you imagine as a kid being like that?
Oh, no. That'd be very weird for a kid, man.
And it'd be different if I was
very
seeing, like,
strange for a kid.
Yeah. It'd be different if I was actually seeing ghosts, like Gemma and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when I first started realizing things, it's when I was seeing what was following other kids. It started with the other kids in my kindergarten.
Right. That'd be very odd.
Oh,
what's up, Roger?
Weird. Oh, I saw stuff when I was a baby, when I was young. I remember, playing out in the backyard before kindergarten and seeing, hey, Roger, and seeing stuff come out of the cemetery. And now that was different, but it seemed to went from when I got older from that to actually seeing the stuff that was following. And I mean, I see stuff other than things that follow people, but when that happened, it is so far few in between. So I don't, it usually catches me totally off guard. So all my encounters that I've ever had, the bulk of them happened in between I was 10 and probably about 24, 25. And then that was when I was seeing, I still see stuff out of the corner of my eyes, you would say, or I'll see something weird in a house or something. But the bulk of stuff I see now is what follows people. But like I said, when the weird stuff really happens is when it just totally catches me off guard, and that's when those encounters come in. And I had friends actually stop hanging with me because it's like every time we hang with you, David, something weird happens. Something creepy happens. So how's everybody doing? Hey, Roger.
So what do you think?
Anybody else going today or not? So. And Pixie, I think, I'm hoping from what Pixie says. And by the way, Pixie, I saw your post. If you're listening, we got you covered. She's hoping to be back next Thursday.
Okay.
So, hello, Slow Motion. How you doing across that big pond?
Slow motion.
I figured what we do is once we get a good crowd in, I'd tell you one of these encounters.
Okay.
Get your opinion. I'm going to start off pretty young. Everybody knows the Hat Man encounter. That was one of the first ones I gave Gemma. But I'll give you one of the other ones, one of the creepy ones. Okay. Hopefully.
Sounds good.
I don't go into too much details because I try to watch because I had a friend, like I told you about the werewolf thing. Or the wolf thing or whatever it was. Ever since he got agitated every time I brought it up. So I try to be real careful about it, even though we haven't talked in years.
Yeah,
there you go. Been watching Godzilla Kong. There you go on DVD. So I try to be careful when I tell stories because I don't know who's around, who might get upset. But yeah, I think the stuff that
you gotta learn to tell your encounters unhindered, man. I think you gotta just stop.
I just try to leave out names. I just try to leave out names as much as I can, just out of that respect, because like I said, he really freaked out. I mean, he's still bothered by it for today. So. I mean, to be the only one to have the picture, a good picture, and then, I'm so angry. I still get so pissed off. That would have been Die Hard. I mean, I'm sure, but that's AI or something. But this picture was from what I didn't get to see it, and that's what upsets me even more because the other guy got to see it.
Right.
He said it was scary. It didn't. No wonder Greg freaked out. And I'm going to say it's because I don't care. But
Oh, yeah. Someday he'll let you see that picture, man.
It's gone. He broke the phone that night.
Mm.
He literally took a rock to it. He said it was cursed.
Whoa. Well, what led him to believe that, though? There has to be a stem.
I have no idea. Nobody ever said anything. As soon as he saw the picture, he freaked out. The only reason the other guy got to see it was he looked over his shoulder. And I knew when he looked over his shoulder, you should say his face got white. And he kind of looked at me and goes, "You're not going to believe this." And I went to reach for the phone, and he took off. He literally locked himself in this room, the room we had, his room. We were in like a prefab out in the middle of the woods. And he didn't come out for like 15, 20 minutes. He came out in tears, said it was cursed. Literally picked up the stone and just started smashing the phone. Y'all get a new one and get home.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And he didn't want nothing to do with
slow motion
it.
going to Wisconsin.
Yes, he's coming here. I'll meet you halfway with some White Castles.
You guys going to go to Elkhorn or what?
How you doing? Hey, honey, how you doing? Welcome. Yeah, I figured a little more come in. I'll try to. I have a couple in mind. I'm going to tell you about this a little more about. I think I'm going to tell you about the one that really kind of creeped me out, kind of stuck with me without really sticking with me. Trying to make sure we have, some people here. Please make sure you hit that like. Donations help the channel, so all that good stuff. Also, Gemma and me tomorrow night for Oracles, 7:15. Those that don't know.
There you go.
Everybody gets a card. If you're new and you let me know it's the first time, I try to slide you in a little bit early for the first one. And then after that, you have to wait in line like everybody else. But it goes pretty fast. Even when she gets to rambling, it goes pretty fast. But yeah, hello, everybody. Good to see everybody. Used to be a White Castles here in Kentucky. Yeah, I knew there was some around down south, but I don't think there was a whole lot of them.
Yeah, we don't have any here. There's none in Arizona, so.
No. I don't think it goes too far. I think the farthest they go is Indiana. Maybe Illinois.
Probably.
I'm not sure. They're based right here in Ohio.
Okay.
Their tool and die factory is only like 20 minutes away from me. Our neighbor across the street used to work for the tool and die. He used to help make the stoves because, they make their own equipment and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Edna, there she is. Said that kind of loud. Hello, Edna. I got your email. I'll mail it afterwards. I want to make some touch-ups, and I'll send it out probably about 15, 20 minutes when we're done. I'm real picky about. I try to go over and make sure it's readable.
Yeah. Hey, Anna, how you doing? Slow-mo, you got to go to Elkhorn, though. If you're going to go to Wisconsin, go to Elkhorn, Wisconsin, man. Beast of Bray Road, baby.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's right. That's where that's at. Yeah.
You
never know. You might get lucky.
You might see it.
You might get a bite on the ankle.
Hey, if you see it, though, take a good photo and let me see the photo.
Yes. Well, but yeah. Who do y'all got? We got 7 in, 10 after. I'm ready whenever you are. You ready? Let's go into this. Hey, John P., how you doing? We were probably 8 or 9. There, where I live, there, a street, a neighborhood. Then there's a cemetery. Then behind the cemetery is the forest. And then on the way to the forest is the Olentangy River.
Okay.
And then beyond the Olentangy River, there's another little forest and what they call Antrim Pond. That wasn't there yet. That was just all forest at the time. The Antrim Pond or lake was formed by when they were building 315, and they were digging gravel out of the ground and hit an Indian hole, what they call an Indian tunnel. You got to remember the river had shifted and coming up and down. where they hit a hole, and they call them Indian holes here. And it literally flooded so fast that there's still 2 dump trucks at the bottom of this thing and a crane.
Whoa. Wow.
And you got to remember the Golden Tangy River moves pretty fast. So it probably didn't take long for it to fill. But anyways, so this was before all that. So when you cross the river, it was forest. We used to fish down there all the time. And we always used to hear, they used to use the river as a go-between from Worthington to Columbus with mule, and they would have a raft, walk down the shore with the mule dragging the raft, carrying supplies up and down. Many moons ago. Anyways, sometimes you would hear horses. Now I have people to argue, I've never heard that. Well, if you sit there at night, and at night they moved all the time, that they were constantly moving stuff up and down the river there, especially during the growth period of Worthington and Columbus.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that Worthington was actually the first capital of Ohio.
I did not know that.
No. Chillicothe, then it became Columbus.
Okay.
This, back in the day. Anyways, we're down there, and we go down there during the summers and play. And Mom and Dad, you could hear my dad whistle 3 blocks at least. He's got one of those really loud, hey, Chris, one of these loud whistles. So we were down there, we're playing, and it was getting about dusk. This was probably about late August. And we're down by the river. We had followed the creek down because there's a creek that runs through, and that goes through the neighborhood over behind me. So we'd follow it down, messing around, doing kid stuff, throwing, having fun. And we follow it down to the river. We get down to the river. River was really low at the time, so we decided to cross over. You can usually walk over, and you only have to dog paddle or swim across for a very short bit because the V shape, you always get a kind of a V in some rivers in some areas. So you truck across that. We crossed over into the woods across the river, and by that time the sun wasn't down yet, and we didn't go too far. And at that time there wasn't a whole lot. There wasn't 315, so you could hear my dad whistle. And you whistled when we heard him before. We get across. As soon as we got up over this little mound and into the forest area before you hit a neighborhood, another neighborhood, it got real quiet. I mean, just dead quiet. And I remember the kid that I was with. I'm going to tell his name because he's done gone. Mike. He's not my brother, Mike, but I know Mike. And then there was Tom, my friend who's the preacher. Okay. Thomas. And Thomas noticed it first. Then I noticed it. That it did. It got. Usually you could hear the crickets and tree fall because it's the time of the year. Right. And it got dead silent. And Mike goes, "What's that?" And he points up in the tree. And it was weird. It was it wasn't a shadow. You could see detail. It didn't look human, but it was short. It wasn't very big at all. I would say if it stood up, maybe 3 or 4 feet tall. Okay. But it was weird. It had arms. You know how you would see a spider, how we talk about spiders, you usually get 2 more arms or something? Yeah. This had 4 legs. And it was weird because they were real stubby and they were already bent. They came out and bent. And it was hopping through the tree on this one. It was weird. It was it was running around the inside the tree branches in one tree. And when Mike goes, "What is that?" And we all stop and look, and Thomas goes, "Holy crap. What is that?" And it kind of looked furry, but you couldn't make out a whole lot. It was moving really quick. First, we thought it had, 4 arms and 2 legs, but we started noticing, no, it's on its legs because it was it was standing up and it was using the legs to run around the branches. And Mike goes, I'm done. I'm out of here. And he started to run. And as soon as he started to turn and run, it like noticed us. And it literally, as we ran to the river and started crossing the river, it came to the edge of the banks and it was making this weird kind of noise.
Weird.
And then Mike said it said something to him, but I never heard any words. I just heard that. And I mean, we ran, but it wouldn't cross the river because there's some big, huge trees, and there's some areas of the river where we were at. You could literally probably jump from one tree to another without touching the water. Easy, because this thing was jumping. So you knew it had the capacity to jump, but it was like it stopped right at the water.
Weird.
And just hung on this branch upside down, squeaking at us. We stood there and watched it for like a couple of minutes before it just went back into the woods. And you could hear it all the way in as it went in.
Weird.
And then it just got quiet again. By the time we got to the cemetery, the noise and stuff had slowly started picking up again. You could start to hear the crickets and stuff. To this day, I have no idea what it was. I've never heard or seen anything like this. Thomas is now a preacher, and he thinks it was a demon. He actually thinks, now he thinks everything's, but he's seen the demon I had to deal with, so I can see that now. But it was weird. I still think it was some kind of a fae. Some kind of. We talk about it. Mike's no longer with us, but me and Thomas still talk about it. We're still trying to figure out what was this thing. But when it hung off the tree, it was like it had like it looked like a gray fur. But it looked human, but it didn't look human. You really couldn't make out its face. The face seemed to be covered by hair, but it was like real stringy. I mean, the fur on it wasn't like fur. It was like string. It was like real fine hair. You know what I'm saying? Trying to describe it's hard to describe. But that was interesting because it was hanging upside down. All four legs was holding on to branches like you would see monkey. Yeah. Is what it looked like.
Well, how do you know it was just like one creature though? Maybe it was an adult creature carrying a baby creature. That would explain the four legs. Because if you saw it in a angle,
it looked like they were connected. We didn't see, it didn't look like it was on because the other hands were free unless the thing was clatched to it.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like with primates, if you look at baby monkeys, they hold on.
Hang on, yeah.
So the mom doesn't even have to hold on to them; they hold on to themselves. Sloth too. A sloth would do that.
The legs looked like they were attached. That's a question I'll have to ask Thomas.
I don't think it was a demon though. I think demon is overused because demons take a tremendous.
I say that to him all the time. But see, the thing is, I've seen my share of demons, so it's
but
kind of what I'm thinking. When I can't describe something, that's usually my go-to thing. This I could not describe. But on honesty, it looked like it had four legs. If there was something attached to it, of young or something, okay. But I couldn't see that. I mean, it was just dark enough. You know, you're at that twilight.
Right.
And it was just on the edge there, hanging over that water, that if something was hanging on there, I think I would have noticed. But I mean, that was a while ago, and I still see it in my head. But it's hard to describe. I'm not see. That was one of the ones I had a picture of, that I drew a picture of. And that's when Patricia told me a long time ago, told me to burn all that stuff.
Oh, it's a shame, man.
I was having some issues, and she thought things that I had seen and had pictures of and drew pictures of and stuff. She thought, and I used to write about it. She said, sometimes when you do that, especially with a person like you, you're just acknowledging them. So you open yourself up for a re-invite, is what she calls it. You know, they're going to come around to see if you can still see or have the capabilities you had when then. And I was at the time she told me to do that, I was having a real rough time with waking up with huge bruises on me. And I mean, this is like nothing. This is a fall boom. I would wake up, my whole arm would look like something had grabbed my arms. So she told me, she goes, you should get rid of all that stuff. So I did.
I can understand that to a degree, but she's also got to understand that, like, when you're trying to tell your story, that pictures like that are.
Well, I never thought I'd tell these stories, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, in situations like that, though, having something for the audience to look at, or the researcher, or somebody to look at, can help you find answers, because
and she understands that now. Yeah,
we're trying to operate off of our imaginations, and our imaginations might not line up
go
with yours. So,
and I have a crazy imagination as it is.
mm-hmm.
But that was one of the creepier things, because I swear it was all one animal. It didn't look like two. It didn't look,
though. Something
and
to
I
consider.
didn't know too many people around here that had exotic animals.
Mm-hmm.
Other than a guy that lived up the river that raised some coons. And other than that, that's about it. There was people that had snakes and stuff, but not like
no, you got to consider too. Animals. Ohio actually has devil monkeys, so you have to consider the possibility it's something that you weren't even aware of.
That is highly possible. I never even thought about that.
Chris Jarvis knows about devil monkeys too. So I mean, like I said the other day, Jody Cook found a baboon skull up in Ohio. So
yeah,
some weird stuff goes down in Ohio. So it could be something that an exotic pet, or it could be devil monkeys, or it could be the Fae. I mean, without a picture to go off of, it's really hard to say.
Yeah, and now I wish I may still draw. I can remember what it looks like, so I may sit down and do it again and see.
You should do a live drawing, Joe.
Shadow, but
should do a live drawing though. You should draw it live on stream.
I'm not that. You got to remember, I shake. So for me to draw, the last thing I drew was a Batman, and the picture of that, and the picture of the lady in the light.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually the last thing I've ever drawn.
And nobody's going to judge you though for shaking, though.
Oh, dude, it's bad.
Nobody's going to judge you for that, though, dude. We're not going to make fun of you.
That one night. Maybe I'll do that one night.
That'd be kind of cool. If anybody says anything about the shaking,
I'm a little nervous about that, but yeah, it's highly possible. We could work something out.
I think it'd be cool.
I'm kind of, but that's the thing, because I had seen later in life. I think I told you about this one. I don't know if I did it with you. That we were at this abandoned, torn down house, and this thing came up out of the ground, and it looked like a spider with a human body, and it was all in black. It was in shadow, and me and three other guys saw it. And
see a lot of spider like
the ground and scurries. It don't even notice us. It just scurries off into the woods. It was creepy. I mean, it didn't scare me, but it was just creepy looking.
Slow motion. You want me to draw an Irish devil? Is that what you're saying? I can definitely try. If you want me to, I will do that for you, slow motion. I will definitely do it. Adventurers Lounge, what's up? But I noticed something though, Ghost. You've seen a lot of spider-like entities, man. Do you have an attachment to spiders in any way? Like, are you really fond of arachnids or anything?
I don't mind them. I'm not like I'm more of a reptilian guy. I have a thing. I collect newts and salamanders and toads. So spiders.
Are you afraid of?
No.
Are you afraid of spiders? No.
But yeah, come think about it. I have seen a lot of the entities, even with some of the things I see following people.
Yeah.
Are spider-like.
Yep.
Interesting. Now you just made me think of something I never thought about.
That's something to look into. I mean, maybe it's a subconscious thing, dude.
Maybe that's what.
Did you ever have Did you have a bad incident with a spider at all when you were a kid?
No.
Man, I'm trying to find an open door here, Ghost. I'm trying to find an open door, and you keep closing all the doors. You got to stop.
I'm just not that. I mean, it takes a lot to scare me. Like I said, the only two things in life that really put the fear of God in me was the Hat Man and the demon I saw. Those two incidents. But then turn around and I saw the Hat Man again in a grocery store about a month ago. No, about a month and a half ago.
Okay.
Standing behind a cashier. And all I saw was his grin. All he does is grin at me. He's got the wide brim hat. And he grins. I don't see no eyes, no face. He grins, and his teeth are like you see when somebody draws a pumpkin. It's like that. And it's just a big white grin. And it's creepy. It just sends crap down my spine. I don't even want to think about it.
Curious. Very curious.
But I've seen him twice. First time following a teacher, the second time behind a cashier. And the teacher ended up passing that summer.
Okay.
The cashier, I still see her. Not as much as I did. So I don't know if he was just standing by her, messing with me, just to kind of mess with me. Because she's really sweet. She's a super sweet lady. I always go to her when I come in if she's there because she's, super nice lady, older woman.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that she's not doing any dark stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I totally agree with that. But it was
I mean, they can be sweet as pie in public, but behind closed doors, they can get really dark and really gruesome real quick.
Yeah. Well, it's wild because it's like I went home that night. I literally locked myself in the room in my room for almost an hour and a half. It bothered me that much because I kept having flashbacks from when I was a kid when I saw the one. And the demon that I've seen later when I was living over in some apartments over here.
Okay.
I actually have dreams of it fighting the lady in the light.
Okay. I
don't know if I've ever described this demon to you.
No, you haven't. Not yet.
You have to listen. Gemma has it in the.
No. You describe it.
No, I'm just saying. I'm going to tell you. But okay. Gemma does have the whole encounter in one of her listener encounters. This thing was the most vile, disgusting thing I've ever seen. You could smell it. It smelled like rotting eggs, burning trash,
sulfur,
feces. I mean, it was nasty. I walked into a pitch black room, couldn't get the lights on. I'm walking around with a lighter. When I got to the bathroom where this was all going down at, the door was closed and then it opened again. And I could see its eyes, just yellow eyes, and then it come out. And as it came out, I saw it. It was like it was melting, like in this continuous melting state. The body, it was like human, but the eyes were all hanging out. It was all dripping, and its guts would come out, and it was like leaving this trail. And dude, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps.
Pretty gnarly, man.
It didn't like me. It kept calling me a effing Bible thumper and all this stuff.
As they do.
And it didn't like my presence at all. I got mad at it and started, and it kind of backed off.
Okay.
And I went downstairs, but just saying, it was so disgusting, dude. It was like I can't say, it was like its guts and everything was just melting off of it. Oof. And it was like it'd come back and do it again, and it was leaving this, but I could tell this like this red, nasty, slimy sludge that would follow it. And it
well, I hope nobody in the audience
ever want to see that thing again, but it has shown up in a couple dreams where it's fighting this lady in the light that I see. And it's trippy. I mean, it got so bad one night, I heard thunder, but there wasn't thundering and lightning out, but everybody in the house heard it.
Interesting.
Nobody outside, because we even asked people outside the next day. I asked the neighbor, I go, did you hear that thunder last night? No, I didn't hear that. And it was like moonlit night, but it was so loud, and it woke me up. It's what woke me up from the dream, was this big boom, and it sounded like thunder cracking.
Whoa.
And I mean, I woke up to my son and my dad standing in my doorway. Go, do you hear that? Did you hear that? It shook the house. So
that sounds like that was like a shared dream or something, dude.
It was weird. That was a weird dream. It literally shook this house, because when I woke up, you could feel the house is kind of vibrating.
Right.
About it, right before I woke up from the dream, I heard a voice. They were fighting, and I heard a voice say, "Enough!" And that's when you heard the thunder.
Wow.
And that's when everybody woke up.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yes. Weird person, I guess. But yeah, see, some of the other weird stuff. Now, the first thing I noticed as a kid going to school was in the playground. Like about a week after I started kindergarten, we have like a brick wall, and then we played inside that area.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of kids pushing each other around in a wheelbarrow. In a wagon. And behind each kid were these little black shadows with little pointed heads. I didn't think it was Fae until I got to know Gemma. Then it dawned on me because they had like pointed heads. The shadows had this, they looked like little triangles running around with arms, but all I saw was shadows. With two of those kids, the following year, the one kid passed, he stopped breathing in his sleep.
Whoa.
The following year, when the other kids these two kids had them the whole time. They followed them everywhere they went.
Okay.
I even watched them get on the bus, and they would follow them on the bus.
Huh.
And then the second kid got real sick, turned out to have cancer or something.
Mm-hmm.
He survived, but now he's paralyzed. But it was weird. Those were like some of the first things I distinctly remember was watching the kids being followed by these little, and it didn't follow everybody. Just there were certain kids I saw that they would follow.
So are you of the mind that the Fae are evil then?
I don't think the Fae are good. I think they can be helpful at times for the right person. I think they're very selective.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't think most parts. I don't think they're good. I don't think their intentions are good.
Well,
unless they
I
want
think that depends on the Fae, though. I think that, like people, there's good and there's bad, dude. I think there's, 50-50. You have the evil ones and you have the good ones. I think it all depends on what your intentions are, what your vibration is.
Oh,
that's what you attract. So,
yeah, I just think that it depends. And I also think it does depend on what they want from you. If they're interested in you for a reason, they're gonna do certain things. I'd never.
Well, I think it's also how you treat them, though.
Right. I do have people in the family have told me encounters. I sent one to Gemma a while back ago about two cousins. They hid behind a log and watched. They described them as little people. There was like a half a tree and a big old hole in it, and they were carrying stuff in and out of this tree. And they said they watched them for like a half hour carrying like these little torches. They had these, they couldn't tell if they were torches or lights. And they were literally coming and going out of this hole in this tree. And as soon as it got dark, because this was like, they both said it was about like dinner time. But as soon as the sun went down, they were gone.
Interesting.
Because they said they watched them. It got dark, and all of a sudden they were gone. Because where they were at, it was shaded, so you'd almost, if you were small, you would almost need a little light to crawl around. And coming in out of a log, I guess you would need a light. So, but yeah, they said as soon as the sun went down, it was like they vanished. They said they stood there, they stood up and was like looking. They even went and looked for like 20 minutes before they went home.
Well, I mean, little people are all over the indigenous cultures, So
So
in a lot of stories, they're good. They're revered. They're not really terrifying little monsters like people think they are. So
I just think that people play too much into the, what Disney has done to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not always so cut and cutely, and there's a very big mischievous part of them.
Oh, of course.
Most of them.
Well, mischievous doesn't mean they're evil, though. Mischievous just means they're little punks, man.
Yeah. Well, like little Loki's. So,
I mean, I'm mischievous. That doesn't mean I'm evil. So,
no,
I like to have fun at other people's expense sometimes.
But I personally, I don't think most of the Fae have good intentions. I think that we ruined our relationship with them many, many moons ago.
It's possible.
I think at one time we did have an ongoing relationship with these things. And somewhere we broke it by destroying the land and doing what we do. And now they just kind of pick on us when they decide to come out. Yeah. Why they pick certain people, I don't know.
I think it's the vibration, man. I think it's what the energies that they pick up off of you. Like, they can tell if you're going to be one of those evil people or a good person or someone that's fun to mess with. Isn't how you carry yourself, man. Now, a lot of people need to realize how you carry yourself and what you display. That's how things and people will see you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Edna, you guys are hearing. Actually, all of you guys are hearing some stuff that I haven't talked about yet. And when I've been by myself all this time,
Yeah, like Edna said, their attitude depends on yours. That's what I say
I
about a
kind of
lot
agree.
of
I
things.
think
Like,
Gemma would say the same thing because she's big
yeah,
on Fae. You know, she's
the
had her
Fae,
little
Bigfoot,
gnomes
stuff like
around.
that. It depends on how you act, man. If you're gonna go around acting like a jerk, they're gonna be a jerk to you too. You know, I mean, serves you right. I think if you're going out in
Right.
the woods and you're being reckless and destructive, and you
Oh
happen
yeah,
across a
I
Bigfoot
agree
or a
there.
dog man, then they're going to do whatever, and I think you deserve it. But if you're going to be nice and you're going to be respectful and you're going to show that certain homage to nature and everything, then yeah, you should get that good encounter.
Now, see, here's one thing Thomas told me after we saw that thing. He was with me with a couple incidents because we were real close for a while. And then we kind of grew up. He went off to become a preacher. I was told to go do something because I was going to go with him. I was going to be a preacher with him. That's what we had talked about.
Okay.
And I was kind of told and led another direction. And we understood each other. We don't see eye to eye on everything, but we understand each other. It's like Patricia, our friend, my other friend. She's like that sister that I never had.
Okay.
She's a spiritualist. She's like Gemma and Pixie. She's just like them. Very gifted. She's my go-to. If it went for Thomas and if it went for Patricia, I'd probably be in a loony bin with the things I've seen, especially the things I've seen. Because not too long ago, like I said the other night, there was a period. Actually, it's still going on now. Since things have gotten crazy in the world, there for like almost 2 months, I was seeing the scariest crap you can imagine follow people. I mean, you shouldn't actually. I never had one notice me before.
Okay.
Now they see me, and that bothers me. I actually got grabbed in a carryout. The people standing there actually watched the bruises appear on my arm.
Wow.
They all freaked out. I left. The guy that was following left. I watched him take his beer and go around the building. He was not in good shape. I was trying to be nice to him, and the thing didn't like it. I was trying to be, a good person and communicate with him. And I did. I think I even showed him on here. I had bruises on both arms. It literally looked like somebody just grabbed me and squeezed me, and their tips of their fingers burnt me. The ones I get from these things, they always look like burn marks. It looks like I took a cigarette. They bubble up a little bit, but they go away.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah, it's really bad at Halloween for some reason. Halloween, I get them like it starts like the 28th to 29th.
Well, I mean, go back to the meaning of Halloween, though. I mean, look at the original festival. Why did people wear costumes? It's because that's when the spirits and the entities are out and about. So,
I always said it's the things that saw me but didn't let me know they saw me looking at them. Because for the longest time, I'm telling you, I would see these things, and I know that, it's like the black-eyed kid I see.
Yeah.
I don't think he sees me. I literally followed him in a hospital not too long ago for 20 minutes trying to take a picture of him.
Wow.
Every time I try to take a picture of him or get to a position, because you got to be careful because you don't want people going, why are you taking a picture?
Yeah, true.
And especially in a hospital.
Yes.
So I was trying to be careful, but I was walking around with my camera just snapping pictures. Every time I got a picture, either somebody would walk right in front of him or he was gone. I followed him all the way to a section of the hospital where I couldn't enter. He was standing outside the door. When I got close enough to where I could make it out that it was him, he was gone. And then I looked at the window and the door, and he was walking down the hallway.
Whoa. That's crazy, man.
And it's weird because he looks like Dennis the Menace. He wears that red and white striped shirt. He wears bib over ours. He's got black as night hair. His face is as pale can be. And his whole eye, not just his thing, his whole eyes are black as coal.
Yeah. No, thank you. I don't want to see.
And I see him almost in every hospital I've ever been in.
Interesting.
And now I'm seeing him in offices too.
Slow-mo, you should definitely ask the locals about the weird stuff in Wisconsin. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
You'd be missing out if you didn't. You definitely need to ask.
So we're just going to go from here and let them ask you questions like we were supposed to do.
Oh no, I thought we were going to talk about your stuff, but yeah, fire away some questions, man.
Yeah, got questions? Please ask them. We're paying attention. I am now. I was too busy rambling. It was hard to watch it, so I have no idea what was going in the chat.
Ramblings allowed.
Yes, but yeah, some of the stuff I've seen, it's hard to describe.
I bet.
And even now that I try to catch a picture of it, because now that I have a camera with me all the time, I try to take pictures. I try to take pictures of the things that follow people.
You know what we should do? We should get you one of those dry erase boards, and then you could try drawing some of the stuff that you've seen and just erase it. That way you're not keeping the drawing, you're not keeping the picture.
True. Actually, that could be true. Actually,
wipe it away.
Therapy too. Because I've learned after what Patricia told me about, keeping that stuff. I honestly feel that there for a while I was bringing stuff in because, I'd go back and research stuff, or I'd use some of the stuff that I see for research for other people. Even though most of the research I do for other people are for like ancient history, and I don't really do like cryptid research. It's usually stuff that we can't talk about on YouTube.
Yeah.
Adult stuff, with little ones. Yeah.
Right.
What I call forbidden history they don't want us to know, or we actually they haven't told us yet, or we're just now discovering, but actually it's been in front of us the whole time. This is stuff I usually research for people. But she told me but I was going through this I was seeing stuff. This is when I started putting salt around the entire property, wherever I lived. I salted everything around me, all the windows. Right. Thomas would come bless the place once a month. Because of that, because still this day, I'm so afraid that one of these things is going to fall. Oh, I got a 90-year-old dad here. I don't want something picking on him.
Well, you got to be careful though, man. When you're studying stuff like we do, you really got to be careful how far in you go
and protect yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're going to study cryptids, be careful how much of the deep, dark history you study, and be careful of the occult, because sometimes you blend those things together and it really creates a fear bubble around you, and it really messes.
Yeah, and I try not to be. I'm not fearful. I'm just more worried about some of the things I've seen pretty bad following people.
Well,
so maybe it would be good to kind of get one of. Maybe I'll have Gemma send me one of the ones I sent her that she never.
Yeah,
used.
But worry is a form of fear. Like if you're worried about something, you're subconsciously fearful of it. So it's still a form.
I don't do it every day, but like if I saw something bad, like if I had gone out today and saw something really bad, I'd have kind of been looking over my back for a while just to make sure. But other than that, once I feel safe, I'm good again.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Fair enough.
But I understand what you're saying because fear can make a lot of things happen. Being scared can make a lot of things happen.
Yeah, sometimes you think it's happening when it's really not. It's just your fear is making you think these things are going down.
Your mind.
Yeah.
So I get that. I understand that. Well, 2+, I've never, other than what I've seen come from creepypastas, I think those were a form of 2+ that, now everybody sees the Slender Man. And like the rake.
Yeah.
Like the only thing I said about the only reason I called the things I saw rakes because they were different from the pale crawlers that I was seeing.
Right.
But you have led me in some directions that I've kind of come to some conclusions. Yeah, maybe they're not pale crawlers. Maybe they're. I know they're not skinwalkers. But these are something else. And what are they? I don't know. But there is a difference between them.
But you got to keep in mind, though, Ghost. Like I said before. The pale crawlers are not all going to look the same. Okay, if pale crawlers are people, so when you're seeing them,
always look the same unless I'm seeing the same one over and over again.
Well, you got to remember too, they're out in the wild. Okay, so they're going to have, they're going to be messy. They're not going to be perfectly clean. They're going to be wearing like decor and ornaments and things to keep themselves clothed in a way. So you may not be seeing anything that's necessarily evil or demonic. It's just it's something you're not.
I've seen this thing in the city too.
Well,
I've seen it downtown. I've seen it on campus. Okay. I've seen it running around OSU a number of times. That's why I kind of lean on this particular thing as something demonic. I don't know why. Now, this is all me. This is not Thomas. This is me. Because Thomas understands not everything's demonic. He understands that. But he looks at everything at the more. I'm a Christian. I'm not a very good Christian, but I'm a Christian. And, you know, Thomas, he's diehard. I wouldn't, you know, and so he always looks at good and evil. That's what he sees. So I respect that.
That's black and white, though.
But over the years, he has come to the conclusion, like Bigfoot and all that, you know, hey, these are something else.
Okay.
So I just, you know, because I don't like telling people what they should believe, because people form their own opinions for their own reasons.
Yes.
And I try to respect that. So, yeah.
Well, I think there's a point to step in, though. Like, you know, when somebody's getting over bounds with their opinions, where they're really creating some crazy stuff, you got to go, are you really thinking with logic, or using critical thinking here? Or
he's a critical thinker, so I get lucky with him. I mean, you got to remember, we've got 3 different people that we don't see each other every day, but we talk every other day.
Well, no, I'm not meaning
because
him.
We're support for each other. Yeah, but I know what you're saying.
You know, because like in the Bigfoot world, you got these people that think like, you know, the Bigfoot are the Xanu, you know, and they're told by the Bigfoot that we're Xanu, we're from this place, and this is what we do.
Oh yeah,
you stop to look at them, and you're like, are you thinking with logic and critical thinking, or are you just believing what somebody throws out there?
Right.
You know, because if you can't come up with the facts and, you know, really look into it yourself, then there's something wrong there. I think you need the ability to research on your own.
Oh yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Now, then I'm big on research, but I've been kind of slacking lately because I've been so busy.
Yeah,
one of the
Chris, you're right. Pareidolia.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing though, because there are times people say that's what it is. You know, you see that image and that you see that in a lot of the Bigfoot stuff. Oh, he's hiding in the bush, or that's the dog man. Now I get what he's saying there. I can't. Pareidolia. There we go. I see that. Yeah, I can see a lot of that in a lot of these pictures. You're wanting to see it so bad.
Yeah,
so this difference when you see it and you mistake something. That's pareidolia. But when you want to see it so bad, that's wishful thinking that it's there. That's when the pareidolia really kicks in, because your mind's already set for looking for that.
Yep.
And I get that. But there's some stuff that I've seen that you would think would be pareidolia. And then you start messing with it. You start using the filters. You start really playing with the picture. And you're like, wait a minute. There is something there.
That's when you got to be careful, though, Ghost. When you start messing with the picture and playing with it, your mind, because it's going through, your picture is going through filters, your mind is going to go and try to pick things out in the different formats, okay?
Right. Oh, so I get that, yeah.
The way that it should be done, all right? If you can't take a photo that's clear, where you don't need editing, you don't need a filter to see it, then don't run it through a filter and say something's there, okay? Clear evidence is clear evidence. You don't need a filter, you don't need editing, you don't need circles drawn around it. That's not clear evidence if you need all that stuff, okay? So people are really going to be really
I'm still going to look and
Chris,
I hate that too. That's
one of
the reasons me and him started getting together, was because we got tired of everybody going Skinwalker, Wendigo, Nephilim. I get tired of it too. And these top 10 or top 5s, they're real bad about that. Now they have these new ones where, what is it, caught on camera, like on the show, where they have where they start off showing trail cams and stuff, and then they end up showing everything. You know, it's the same thing.
I have an interesting event to tell everybody here. I think you'll find this kind of like, what? So a buddy of mine, he wanted to see how many clicks he could get by creating a Wendigo hoax. And for some reason, he thought that when he told me this, I'd find it comical. I was so mad at him, Ghost. When he told me, oh, I'm going to hoax a Wendigo, I looked at him like, why would you do that to what I'm doing? I'm doing all this hard work on the Wendigo. You're going to go pee on it on purpose? Really? You're going to like tarnish my stuff?
That's the problem now. Yeah.
And he's like, well, it's going to be funny. It's going to be funny. I told him, no, dude, it's not funny, because you know I'm researching this stuff. And you're telling me you're going to go and hoax a Wendigo thing. Why would you do that to your friend? And man, I mean, you're being a jerk. So
yeah, exactly.
I was really mad at him. I'm still furious, dude. He's been trying to call me. I will not answer his calls. I'm like, yeah, no, you can go right to hell, buddy. Go right to hell.
Yeah, because that's the problem right now is because of all the AI. Because AI is getting really bad. And the hoaxes over the year, yeah, it's not a good thing. I mean, it doesn't do this research of any type, any good.
Nope.
It's just like some of the stuff that I found, where somebody supposedly found a Nokia telephone that was buried under hundreds and thousands of years worth of earth, and no, it's fake.
Yeah.
Now there is one of a watch they found, of a little watch that is real. That I had discovered that it was real. They're still trying to figure out how it got there, but the phone, that was a fake.
Yeah, there's a lot of fake stuff.
Hammers and stuff that have been supposed to have been found before they were even created. Some of those are real. After doing research, they were chemically, they were tested. But the phone was never tested. It was all just talk. And you still see it come out every so often. Oh, they found this Nokia phone that's been petrified over thousands of years. It's like, yeah, but I've looked for the research on it. It's, if you dig or go to the right places, you can find where they did the tests and stuff.
Yeah.
This is what always cracks me up about these shows. Oh, we ran these tests. Unless unless some government agency is keeping them behind closed doors, you notice they never really give you the full results of those tests.
No.
They never do. So I always go looking for them. Sometimes you can find them and they're really questionable. And sometimes you find that it stops pretty much where they say. And then you kind of go, there's more to it.
Let me use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah, sure. But yeah, let me catch up on chat here. I hope everybody's giving a good time. I don't want to go too long tonight. Because I'll be here with her tomorrow night. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. I hope you're having a good time. Yeah, I'm still pretty stuck on some of my views, so it's going to be hard to kind of change me. But I don't care what anybody says. I know what I see. I know what I feel. So, and I don't ask anybody to do change for me. So, because everybody has their opinions and everybody has their thoughts. The London Hammer, yeah. So yeah. And I love the fact that I love so many views. I love to hear what everybody's opinion is, because that's the good thing. That's how you open your mind. And I'm always willing to think differently, but I always end up back to where I started. Always. So, but that's just me. AI, the AI thing is just so bad. And if you pay attention to a lot of the human stuff, the hands or the feet's all messed up, you really have to look it over really good. A lot of people just look at it and go with it.
Ta-da, I'm back.
Go back.
Yeah.
I figure a couple more minutes. We'll go a little longer. And
okay. Well, if anybody's got any questions.
Huh?
If anybody's got any questions.
Oh, yeah, please. If you got questions, ask them. We might do something. We're going to hang out a little bit. I don't want to keep him too long. And I know you're at what, dinner time now?
Yeah, pretty close. I mean, I'm probably going to work on my book for a little bit and then cook up some dinner for Duke and I. But other than that, it's going to be a lazy day.
There you go. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go do dishes after I'm done. So I'm in no rush.
Yeah, I was going to do some investigating this weekend, but dude, the weather's like kicking in hardcore over here. It's 94.
You guys are getting the heat big time.
Yeah, it's 94 right now.
And it's early for you guys. Isn't it early for you guys to get it?
Oh, yeah, dude. When summer fully kicks in, we're looking at like maybe 113, 114 weather. It's going to be so...
Yeah, I mean, we're toasty. We were toasty today. We were 90 today.
Yeah.
And
you got the guy from Mortal Kombat popping up going, toasty.
Yeah, toasty. It reminds me, I may have to play some later. But yeah, here it wasn't as much as the heat.
Humidity, huh?
Yeah, it was the air quality.
Ooh.
Was really stagnant.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like humid, but it was stagnant here. It was like, even with the wind lightly blowing, it was so stagnant. But that sun is so active right now that, even when it's like the other day, it was like 65 here or almost 70. And it literally felt like 90 because this heat, if you stood in the sun, you could feel the sun just bake you right off rip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Chris, I'm not too far from Scottsdale.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, not too far at all.
Do you know Mr. MBB333?
Nope.
He's in Arizona. Go check out his channel. You might actually like his channel. He's a Skywatcher.
Okay.
And his name is Mr. MBB333.
Yeah, send me a link on Facebook later on. I'll definitely check him out.
Yeah, he's a Skywatcher. He does a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But he's basically a Skywatcher. And he's into the volcanoes and stuff, and he tries to piece things together. He's been around for a long time. But he's right there in Arizona too.
Nice.
So
I'll definitely have to watch him and see what he's all about.
Yeah, I'll send you the link afterwards.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, I followed him for a long time.
Send me the ball.
Yeah. Here, I'll show you something before we leave. He used to get some people. He has a lady and a couple guys that send him stuff from the NASA live feed.
Okay.
From the ISS, and they show UFOs and stuff, things that go flying by. Hold on 1 second, see if I still have it. I hope I did. Cancel. I'm hoping I still have everything. Let me make sure here real quick. Yeah, because there's a picture that one of the people posted from. A lot of these folks, I think, have seen this, but I saw it and noticed it right off rip how familiar it was with something else. Come on.
And Chris, before I forget, I should hear back my friend probably tomorrow evening, the latest, about the Comic-Con thing.
Oh, please have. I try to keep everything. Okay. Here's the one. Do I still have the painting? Yes. Okay.
You're welcome, Chris.
Okay, here we go. This picture. Let me get a little bigger. So I'm going to move off to the side.
Okay.
Share screen. Windows. No. Where'd they go?
I don't know.
Why is it not showing up?
I don't know. You're the tech guy, man.
I know. I'm still learning this. It's really weird. I'm still kind of figuring things out. Not it. 1 second.
Nice Godzilla shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. See, I'll show you the back here in a sec.
Okay.
Get this up here.
Oh, I do.
Okay. This is what was seen on the ISS out the window. You see it right there? Right there.
Yeah.
It even looks like something's looking at you.
Yeah,
Let's see if I can blow it up. Can I make this bigger?
I'm not gonna lie, that big white spot looks like Rodan.
It does, doesn't it? But it's one ship. It looks like one craft, and it's got something down here.
Interesting.
Okay. You look at it real good, okay? Then I saw this picture and I went, this looks familiar. So I sent him this picture. 1 second. I'm gonna take this out. Stop sharing. And then I sent him this picture right here. Share screen. Windows. Share. This one.
Interesting. Okay.
Doesn't this right here look like what we were looking at off the ISS?
Yeah, kind of does. Yeah, there's a similarity there.
Put this back up. Maybe I can get both to show at the same time.
Interesting. Yeah, Chris, I can see the Silverhawk ship too.
Silverhawks. I haven't heard that for a while. Let's see if I can show them. But you see what I'm talking about? I'm going to try to show them together.
Okay.
Share screen. Windows. Oh, it's going to let me do one at a time. Oh, maybe. Percent. It's going to only let me do one at a time.
Yeah. I don't know how to do the side-by-side thing.
So, but yeah. But when I saw this one was just amazing. When I saw the first one, what did I do now? I'm trying to do.
I can't see Rodan though. I keep seeing Rodan in that picture. So
Rodan. Somebody said it looked like a dove, and I'm like, yeah. Well, what's hanging off the back of it? I'm gonna put the picture back up.
True. True.
There we go. But yeah, when I saw this, I immediately thought of the painting because when I was a kid, I did a report a bunch of this stuff because my dad was into Ancient Aliens,
right?
And actually, I think this is in one of the books I read, along with a bunch of the other stuff, a lot of the Christian stuff that have the UFOs in them and stuff. So, but you just can't. I mean, it's obvious there's something there. I can see the Rodan thing. But what cracked me up is people were blowing it up. And this actually looks like this dot right here looks like somebody is actually looking up at the ISS.
Yeah, it does look like that.
It looks like a figure there looking up at you. Like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, I could see that. All right. Interesting.
But yeah,
very interesting.
But yeah, that's one of the things I sent to him. That was a while ago. And then I saw in one of these tabloids, they gave him credit for noticing the two, and I'm like, that was mine.
That's awesome.
But yeah. Anybody got questions? Give us some questions. Ryan needs questions.
Edna, I'm right there with you, man. I got to know before I leave this place, see what these things are. 100%.
Yeah, I totally agree. Philadelphia pick. I don't think it is.
That's possible too. I mean, until we have confirmation that it's not pareidolia, then it's quite possible.
Yeah, it's possible. But yeah, when I saw that, I immediately thought of the painting because it's really obvious. You look at that painting and then you look at that and it's like, that's a top view. You're looking at the top view of the painting.
Yeah. See, could be that too. It's all in our minds though. I think we interpret things in a different way. Right. We got to be careful because just because we interpret it a certain way doesn't mean that it's factual.
Right. Oh, I agree.
So
I want to believe it's true. And I mean,
oh yeah,
they considered them aliens that flew off in a craft. There's a lot of those things. I mean, a lot of them people at that time believed they were angels that flew off in these crafts.
Yep. That is true. That's a very good point too.
Yeah, anything's possible. Well, and in this day, everything is possible.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, meant to say, not
100%.
impossible, possible.
Maybe someday we'll know. Maybe someday we won't.
Well, the veil's lifting, so I'm sure a lot of people are going to get a lot of answers. I honestly
hope so. I hope so. I really do. I think people deserve answers, to be honest with you.
We are eager to see what we see. Yes, we are. I agree with that. I mean, some people get. I don't know how I come off, but I'm pretty tame about a lot of this stuff, even the stuff I see. I just get unnerved by it. Yeah, I do worry about it following me home. That's scary stuff. But it's only nature. I mean, it's an instinct thing. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
But I try not to let it haunt me. I don't let stuff haunt me. Now, I get in my own head sometimes, but that's different. I mean, because that's overthinking the smallest detail, but I'm in the detail. I look at detail. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's what you got to look at too, is the details. 100%.
I look at every inch of, and I will look at a picture. I'm not just looking at what's in the center of the picture. I'm looking at every detail that's outside that picture, outside that object in the picture.
Chris, I 100% agree with you. I support that statement 1,000,000%.
Where's Mike J? Oh, Mike J's at Bike Week. So up north.
Oh, that sounds kind of fun.
He was saying last night. Yeah, he was at Bike Week.
Cool.
So he's having a good time. Hopefully he's enjoying himself. Mr.
Oh, I'm
Behold.
sure he is. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's having a grand old time.
Oh, yeah. That's funny, though. Yeah, that'll be interesting what we see come out of that, because I think I'm noticing now, settle down, and I'm noticing now that more people who don't believe are starting to believe, because they're starting to see their own stuff, especially when it comes to more of the supernatural realm.
Yes.
Here's the thing. I think some creatures, some cryptids come from the supernatural realm.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then they're not cryptids.
World that was created by a supernatural being, supposedly.
Well, I mean, if they're coming from a supernatural realm, though, that's not cryptozoology anymore. Cryptids are animals. So if it's supernatural, it's a supernatural entity. So we gotta be careful.
That, but I'm not saying all cryptids are like that. I just think that there are some cryptids that people talk about that may come from a different realm. And not like Bigfoot. I think Bigfoot's always been here. And my opinion on Dogman, take it, leave it, whatever. I don't express it. But if this thing does exist, it's another thing that's been with us for a very long time. It's always been here. You know what I'm saying? So I get stuff like that. But when we're talking about like pale crawlers, you know, and other stuff like your skinwalker, you don't see, you call skinwalkers a Wendigo. Now, would you say a Wendigo is spiritual because it takes over somebody's soul? But a skinwalker is not a cryptid because it starts with a human. Who's doing something evil that becomes spiritual. All right.
Yeah, and you can't count a shaman, a witch as a cryptid. Right. So skinwalkers, no. Wendigo is definitely a spiritual thing. It's a spirit. I mean, the name Wendigo means the spirit who devours. So,
right.
Yeah, that's what you got to look at.
If we get dwarf women, I'm quitting. I quit.
Oh, come on, Chris. What, you're going to quit just because you guys can't see eye to eye? Hey.
I want to be careful what I want to say because I could get pretty bad.
Yeah, I was going to say something that was probably going to get us trouble too. So I was like,
I have to behave myself. We don't need Gemma coming after us.
No, we don't need YouTube coming after us.
You know, she's real bad with that shank, man. She's good with that thing.
Hey, you're closer than I am, man. I don't have to worry about the shank. So
I don't know. She's mad. She might get there pretty fast.
No, the heat would keep her away. She'd be like, yeah, you know what? No. 100-degree weather, you can have it.
No, she don't do heat. No, she don't.
See? I got a Gemma defense going on.
It's the beards. That's another thing somebody made fun of. I was talking to a friend. He'd been checking out our channel and a couple other channels. He's not really into this stuff, but he had seen something not too long ago out of the corner of his eye when he was driving. He thinks he doesn't know if he saw a spirit standing on the side of the road, but he said it happened real fast. He said he was driving fast, but he said there was definitely somebody standing there.
Interesting.
He said he even stopped and went back to make sure they were okay and they weren't there.
Yeah, we talked about stuff like that on DA show last night. DA really? Robert. Yeah. Go check it out. That was from last night's show.
Oh, before my show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on there for a little bit, but I got to run around. Dad had me running around. So I was trying to finish up so I was ready to rock and roll. Because I go in there and listen because they're on before me a lot of times. So I go in and just listen. But no, I didn't catch that conversation. But yeah, it really freaked him out. And ever since then, you can see his curiosity starting to.
Yeah, that's usually how it happens too.
But yeah.
Yeah, Chris, I can actually kind of agree with that too. That what people are seeing are aliens that have set up shop. I could really see that, dude. Absolutely. That would explain why some of these cryptids they're seeing cloak or they're bulletproof or they move at the speed of light or whatever because they're not actually cryptids. They're aliens taking on that shape. I could see that.
That's interesting. I think things like some Fae have the ability to manifest what they see in our minds.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great story that I heard a couple years ago about a child, and he was it was told by his dad, but this child was constantly telling his dad that he talks to Cookie Monster every night.
That's kind of spooky.
Cookie Monster. Yeah, he says Cookie Monster comes to his room, sits in the chair across from his bed, eats cookies, and talks to him. And he says it happened. He tells his dad, it happens every night, Dad. Don't you hear him in there talking to me? It freaks Dad out. And he put a camera in the room, never caught anything, but he would catch the kid sitting on the edge of the bed talking to the chair.
Could be worse. It could have been Elmo, man. Oof. Elmo's annoying as can be.
And I think that's what it was something knew that his favorite Sesame Street character was Cookie Monster. Right. So it was coming to him as Cookie Monster. What it was, I don't know.
Interesting.
The guy tried for like 6 months to catch this thing on. All he would catch is his son sitting on the edge of the bed, having a conversation with the chair.
That's interesting, if not entirely ski, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not something I'd want to see, but all right.
He said they would hear in the background and some of the film they caught and some of the stuff they caught, what sounded like the chair either moving or grumbling.
Oh.
And that was it. But he said it's so faint, you don't hear it at first. You have to kind of play it, but it's not like all the time. But he says in all the video he has, it's just his son's about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden, up in bed and starts talking to the chair. They even moved the chair, and the kid would sit wherever face the chair, wherever the chair was at in the room.
That's interesting. That's spooky though, man. That's something to be really careful of.
Yeah.
What's up, Bat
you
Mom?
Never know. Hey, Bat Mom. That was for the Cookie Monster, not you, Chris.
Yeah, no, I can agree with what Chris said though. That's a valid point too.
Which was
very valid. When he was saying how he thinks that some of them are aliens that set up shop.
Yes.
I can definitely agree with that.
My opinion on aliens is I have a hard time after doing all the research I have. I always get led back to one thing. So I just kind of stay out of that conversation and just ride the okay. So
fair enough.
But yeah.
Told you the other day, Ashley.
Yeah, we're here tonight. Woolly mammoths. They're still trying to clone them.
That's a bad idea, though, man.
Actually, China and Russia both are trying to clone them. Somebody says that China's also trying to clone a pterodactyl. I saw this on the dark web about 3 months ago. I went back to try to pull. You have to watch pulling stuff off the dark web because you never know what you're going to come with it. So you have to be careful. But I go to sites where these journalists and stuff hang out. So it's all encrypted. Problem is, you still got to be careful when you're messing around in the dark, deep web.
Right.
So I don't ever download stuff. Sometimes I'll take pictures of it on my, if it's important. I didn't think it was important because I thought everybody knew this, that China's been messing with DNA and trying to clone things for now about 7-8 years. I believe they've already cloned a human. In fact, I'm pretty sure of it. And same thing with Russia. But Russia's not as... They're using the CRISPR. If you know what the CRISPR system is. Yeah, it's what they're using. And I believe Russia's trying the same thing with the woolly mammoth. A mammoth.
That's a bad idea. I think it's a really bad idea.
You don't bring... they talked about... I believe they were trying to do it with the condors, too, to help the population. But... I have a problem with cloning, period, because it's a man-made, God-made thing. They're man playing God, one thing, but it's just something that we're not meant to do. I've also noticed there's research right now where they are trying to make it able for a woman to get pregnant without a donation.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Now, I don't know how close the study is. I need to go back and follow the guide. I got the stuff he sent me to go look. The only thing about when you get on the dark web, things switch. You'll find something one day and it'll be gone the next.
Of course.
And I always tell people it's not as scary as they think it is. Everybody plays it off to be some. I'll tell you when it's scary. When you go to place, when you intentionally look for things that you're not supposed to look for. When you look for that things that we can't speak of, and gore and all that. If you go looking for it, you're going to find it. Either you're going to find two things. You're going to find the real thing, and your mind is going to be screwed up forever. Because believe me, I've seen some bad stuff on there. Or you're going to find a honeypot. A lot of it now is honeypots, which is federal agents trying to draw you in. A lot of the hitman sites, that's what they are.
Right.
So, yeah. Turkey-based, it works. Hello, Andrew. But yeah, no, they say artificial insemination, but I think they want to, from what I understood, they were going to, you know how some frogs can switch sex?
Yeah.
Also, some frogs, some reptiles, some amphibians can give birth without having a mate.
Yep.
And they were looking into that process. So,
well, that's how Jurassic Park starts, man. So just be careful.
Yes, I know. And I never see that stuff. I never see that stuff ending good anyways. I mean, we know it's just not going to be good. The CRISPR thing is a bad idea because that's basically genetically engineering a human to your favor. You know, if they want blue eyes, they're going to get blue eyes. Parents want blue eyes, red hair, and size 6 feet and want to be 6 foot. They can actually do that during the CRISPR, using the CRISPR.
Reminds you of that Zager and Evans song, doesn't it, man? Wow.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
The DNA of a frog. You know, a lot of people cracked up because one of the things that Alex Jones said was, you know, they were going to make frogs gay, and what they do, they actually did. And when it came out to be a real fact, everybody was like, he was right. Yeah, he was right. He's been trying to warn people for years about some of the crazy stuff. Now, granted, he gets a little carried away.
Yeah.
And he's, because he's an entertainer too, foremost.
Mm-hmm.
But when he goes on some of these rants, you got to really listen to what he says, because he does drop some serious truth bombs. So
never say never, Chris. You never know. Life finds a way.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And it does too. I'm just seeing. Like I said, I've been rambling. You haven't said a whole lot, so ramble. You got anything good? I've been running.
I wasn't born a rambling man. You were.
I think hanging out with Gemma made me that way.
That's okay.
People cry about bringing animals back, but destroying everything we already have.
Yeah.
Now, see, at first when they talked about bringing the condors back and using like the CRISPR to bring them back, I was okay with it at first because, they were almost gone. But they are slowly coming back on their own.
Right.
I mean, they could help boost the population. But like I said, we all know when you start messing with things that we're not, it's like you just don't mess with things that we were not meant to mess with. But we're humans and we're naturally curious. There's always going to be someone that's going to go, I want to go this far. I want to do this. I'm going to do this. And they find a way or close to finding a way.
Of course.
It's like CERN. Everybody thinks CERN is about one thing, but the problem with CERN is they are literally trying to open up a black hole. They are literally trying to open up a portal. People don't realize that. Yeah, they're doing studies that are beneficial, but people don't understand there's a reason you have dark matter. You have matter, and then you have dark matter. Why is it called dark matter? Because it's dark. I mean, you don't know what's inside the dark matter. Who said it's going to be good stuff?
Yeah, it could be bad stuff. You never know.
Yeah, so, and I always look at, back to that good and evil thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just rambling. Yeah, you know, a lot of people believe that they've already opened a couple already there around Sweden. And it's highly possible they have. I've seen pictures. In fact, I think I can, if I can go find the videos, he actually shows them in some of the videos. Well, you know how they take a picture of, they take still shots of the collisions?
Right.
Okay, and there's one where there's a hole, and it literally looks like something is standing inside it.
Ooh.
A face. You actually see an outline, what looks like a face. Of course, it's all digital. But, you know, the pareidolia thing kicks in because you immediately go, that's pareidolia. But the more you look at it and know what they're doing, there's like a couple of them like that. It just kind of, you kind of look at them and go, hey, something's not right about this. You know, there's something very off here. One actually looks like Sheba.
Ooh, interesting.
Which is really weird because, you know, they have Sheba out in the courtyard at CERN. But it does. It's this really Indian looking face. You could bet, but it's just like, you know, pixelated, but you can see it. You could tell if you knew what you were looking at. But like, again, that could be pareidolia too. And everybody's just seeing something inside a digital, you know, digital dots or whatever you want to call them. Yeah,
that's entirely possible too. Because it is the thing. Pareidolia is indeed a thing, even though people want to say no, it's not. It's a thing.
What's the other thing? When you see the horizon off the water and it looks like something's floating, I can't never say the name.
Yeah, I can never say that one either.
That's like the cities they've been seeing in the clouds in China. But I had a friend that lived there, and there's a couple of people I know that are from, you know, have done their time there. China's government is really big into holograms.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people think they were experimenting with holograms and messing with the people there with holograms. I don't know, but have you ever seen some of that footage with the cities on the clouds?
Oh yeah.
And I think there's one out now where there's like a pyramid that's all lit up and there's people walking around on it. I believe that was also seen. I think they're saying some other place, but I think that was also seen in China too. I'll have to go back and check, but I believe that was seen in China too. China is another very mystical place.
Yeah, it's very
China has that countryside has lots and lots of lore.
Yes.
And interesting things that go on. I mean, everybody does, but it's like United States, China, because we're such big continents. You know, China, United States, Russia, South America, but most of the people in South America are very superstitious in the first place. Africa too. There are a lot of weird things go on.
True.
I'm just trying to make conversation. Project Bluebeam. Here's the thing about Project Bluebeam that I know. It's been implemented a couple times. A lot of people think they're going to use that for a fake UFO landing, invasion, first encounter. Breathe. I just get into. I'm in a good mood. I'm talking tonight. But yeah, a lot of people believe that's what they'll use to do a fake alien. A lot of people also believe that's what they're going to use to do a fake Return of the Christ.
Yeah, it's a lot of conspiracy theorists, though, man.
Tons of it. I mean, I can take you right into this one spot. It comes and goes, but in Tor, there's a link. It's all conspiracy. It's nothing but all these people that what they have going through their heads. I'll tell you what, I thought I was crazy. You read some of this stuff and people are like way out there. But then you start reading it, it's like, well, this could be possible, you know. Chinese version. Project Bruce Bean is a very specific series of steps that needed to be taken in order to gain complete control in an unidentified world of religion. None of the steps have happened.
True. That's also true.
Yes. Also ripped straight from Star Trek. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's like everybody talks about HARP. A lot of people think that HARP is what triggered the big solar flares not too long ago. Oh, they were working on HARP when that went off. You know, a lot of people thought HARP was not being operated, but it is. And then now, like CERN, they release when they're going to do certain tests with it, because HARP releases pulses into the atmosphere and sound waves and stuff. A lot of people think that CERN is the one that got the sun all active right now. Not CERN, but HARP. It's hard to tell, but there are some coincidences to make you think that it may not have started it, but it might have hyped some of the activity up.
Valid point, Ashley. Very valid point.
Never. Oh yeah. There are too many of us.
That's
too many.
That's a very valid point, man.
Interesting. My screen's freaking out.
Uh-oh. Talking about things you shouldn't be talking about, dude.
Hey. I'll tell you, that happens a lot when we start talking about black-eyed kids for a while there at the beginning and shadow people. When we first started talking about them, when Gemma and all started talking about all kinds of weird things would happen. We'd lose internet service.
You get the weird energies going on.
Yeah. Not so bad now.
Now that you said it's not so bad, watch, it's going to get really bad.
Yeah.
See? That's how that works.
Yeah, it is. You know, like they always say, when they say it's peaceful and calm, expect all hell to break loose.
Yes, sir.
That's usually what happens.
Were you about ready to tap on out?
Yes, we can call it. I think we're all pretty much ready. Okay. I was just trying to make it an even time. What we got? Oh, yeah, let's do it. It's 9:30. All right. You ready? I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Have a wonderful one. Have a blessed night. Have a wonderful evening. Good day tomorrow. See you tomorrow. If you want to go ahead and go, and I'll do the letdown, logo, you can. I'm not going to make you stay. You got to stay. Okay. But yeah. Have a good one, Ryan. Tomorrow night, Gemma, 1-card Oracle, 7 o'clock, 7:15. She's been early, so if you can get there early, that'd be great. Try to get your name on the list by 10. I'm sure I'll repost it in the morning. Saturday, I should be here at midnight for Gemma's replays. Monday, I don't know if she's got videos coming Monday or not. I'll let you guys know tomorrow night. Tuesday talk. I believe we're talking more about barrel crawlers, so that's why I kind of. Anyways, I'm going to let them talk about barrel crawlers. I'll keep my mouth shut. Then Wednesday, me, and then hopefully next Thursday, Pixie will be here at this time, the same Gemma time, same Gemma channel. 8. Have a wonderful night. I hope to see you guys all tomorrow. You lovely folks in Gemstones. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. It means a lot. Make sure you leave a like and a comment. Much love to you all, and have a wonderful